buried pirate treasure on Liberty Island. Dude, there's treasure below the Statue of Liberty. Dude, let's go to New York. Immigrants used to pass by the Statue of Liberty with dreams that the streets of America were paved with gold. Pfft, no, they're not. None of us would have to pay rent. Maybe they should have been looking underneath the statue. But before we get to the story, what's up guys? Thanks so much for coming back for another creepy video. As always, don't forget to subscribe, be part of the Socially Awkward family, and follow me on Instagram and check out channel memberships. Links are all down below. And give this video a like and a share. But yeah, today we are going to look at some creepy New York urban legends. It's about to get spooky. And I think we're ready, so let's do it. That's where Captain William Kidd is said to have buried a stash of loot. And he was hanged for piracy in London in 1701. Ugh, that's not great. They say it's absolutely possible that the treasure is there, but people have been searching for 3 centuries and no one has found it. Fueling the legend is the fact that Captain Kidd lived in New York for 4 years in a house on Pearl Street where he could have kept an eye on the island. He was like, y'all ain't about to get my treasure. But be warned. Of what? The treasure may be protected by his ghost. Ooh, just got interesting. One account says that a century after his death, some soldiers nearby Fort Wood went to a psychic to locate the treasure. They followed her instructions and began digging on the next full moon. What are they, werewolves? Their shovels struck something hard, a chest. They struck something else next, a skull. Suddenly an apparition rose up from the hole, cutlass in hand, and chased the soldiers off. When they later returned, the chest was gone. Ooh, spooky. Yeah, I wouldn't go after this guy's treasure. He's like, no, you're not getting my lunch money. Y'all did that when I was alive. You're not doing it when I'm dead. Empire State Building, Bermuda Triangle. I thought that was in the ocean. For centuries, sailors have feared wandering into the Bermuda Triangle, the patch of Atlantic Ocean that allegedly turns navigation systems haywire and swallows ships without a trace. A few years ago, New York City drivers had similar fears about an equally terrifying place, Midtown. Around 2008, drivers started complaining that within a 5-block radius of the Empire State Building, their cars would inexplicably die and refuse to start again. It was almost every day, this one guy said. We used to pick up those cars, take them a few blocks, and they would start. His best guess is that radio signals from the broadcast beacon on the tower were disabling alarm systems and cars and preventing them from starting. About a year ago, the phenomenon disappeared as mysteriously as it began. Yet the broadcast beacon is still there. Conspiracy! The Empire State Building does not like taxi drivers. I bet the guy that created Uber works there. He shut down all the cabs and he was like, yep, gotta call an Uber now. Conspiracy, guys! Think about it. Super rats of Hurricane Sandy? Heck no! About to get some rat traps. The sound was coming from inside the walls. This is a horror story. Kevin and his roommates said they lived peacefully in a 5th floor loft for years with barely a cockroach invading the space. Then, the winter after Hurricane Sandy, the noises began. Scratching and scurrying. That is disturbing. I walked into the kitchen one day and saw a rat the size of a small cat crawling across our food shelves. Disgusting. I would have a heart attack. There was this monster rat in my kitchen trying to cook a Hot Pocket. Traps and an exterminator proved ineffective. It was baffling that the rats would find their way up to the 5th floor. Then the roommates read reports about rats fleeing inland from flooded subway tunnels after Hurricane Sandy. A theory was going around that the weaker rats were wiped out and the surviving rodents bred a new generation of tougher, meaner super rats. Tom and Jerry got serious. The likelihood of Sandy breeding super rats is the same as Bigfoot. Sandy killed a lot of rats, both big and small ones would have drowned. Kevin doesn't buy it. He's like, nah man, you didn't see that cat/rat in my kitchen. It ate all my Cap'n Crunch cereal. It took him weeks to beat the super rats, who seemed to get smarter by day. He captured the last one accidentally, cooking it while preheating his oven. Gross. The smell of burning rat hair remained in our apartment for days. I live in fear of their return. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Kevin. If you're watching this, I really hope you got a cat. Cropsy. Sounds like a villain. Or an evil monster. In the mid-90s, Ariel Abramowitz went to camp across from the notorious disused mental institution Willowbrook in Staten Island. She recalls counselors taking campers to an old building on the site, with something like blood smeared on the walls, and spooking them with tales of a boogeyman named Cropsy. Why would you take them there? Y'all need to get fired. Allegedly, he was a respected community member who went mad after his son died at the camp and ran into the woods vowing revenge on campers. Why'd he just run straight into the woods? He was just like, oh no, my son is dead. I have to go live with bears now. They made it like this crazy guy kidnapped kids who didn't behave. Oh, you're scaring them. Willowbrook was ripe for urban legends, says Josh Zeman, director of the 2009 documentary Cropsy. There's a documentary? I'm gonna go watch it. And there really were kids disappearing from the area, so it was natural for people to put the two together. But Cropsy might have been real. Andre Rand, a former janitor at Willowbrook, was convicted of kidnapping and first-degree murder of a Staten Island child in 1987, and later with a 1981 kidnapping. He's currently serving 2 sentences of 25 years to life, and will become eligible for parole in 2037. That's a long time. Good, I hope he stays there. Cropsy, that's something I want to name a dog. Like, y'all want to meet my dog? Come here, Cropsy. And they're like, no, I don't want to meet him. Haunted habitations. I don't even know what that means. Years after John Lennon was shot dead in front of his Central Park West apartment building, the Dakota, his widow, Yoko Ono, saw his ghost sitting at his white piano. Aww. He's playing you a song. She claims he turned to her and said, "Don't be afraid, I am still with you." Oh, John. John Lennon was in the Beatles, if you don't know, and a crazy fan murdered him. When he was alive, Lennon himself claimed to have spotted a figure wandering the halls of the Dakota, whom he referred to as the Crying Lady Ghost. Well, that's creative. Other residents are said to have encountered the specter of a little girl, about 7 years old, smiling and laughing and greeting people in the hallways. These ghosts are sweet. The Dakota's original owner, Edward Clark, had an interest in the paranormal and would often host seances to communicate with the dead. Well, that's why y'all have so many demons. You're asking them to come. The more you play with the paranormal, the more likely you are to experience paranormal activity in the future. She believes that when people are murdered suddenly and violently, their spirits linger. In John Lennon's case, his life was cut short in his prime. He was only 40 years old. Someone like him was happy to be alive. He was working. He had a small child. He had unfinished business. It's a prime recipe for a classic haunting. Sewer alligators. Heck no! What just happened? The panic over underground alligators started in 1935 New York Times news report with the headline, "Alligator Found in Uptown Sewer." Yeah, that's not a good tourist attraction. About several people who caught and eventually killed an 8-foot alligator found in an open manhole at 123rd Street and the Harlem River. Experts say an alligator in the sewer isn't so far-fetched. Why do you live there? Tons of rich people were bringing back exotic pets and animals between the 1920s and 1940s. Why? Though common legend blames people flushing baby alligators down the toilets. It's more likely that they were dumped down sewer grates and manholes. There have been about 12 sightings of alligators in the sewers over the years, but you would need many more to create a thriving colony of them beneath the city. Just 4 years ago, writer Joyce Hackett found herself nearly face to snout with an alligator on a side street in Queens. And then she was like, yeah, I'ma move. There it was on the wet asphalt, crouching motionless. I thought of my dog, poised to hunt, and wondered if the gator's stillness was a prelude to lunging for the ankle of one of its hecklers. Yeah, it's waiting to eat somebody. This is a classic horror movie. You people don't learn. Mole people. No! What is up with New York? 2 weeks ago, diners at West Village hotspot De Silvano were startled when a subway grate on the side of 6th Avenue lifted and a shadowy figure tossed a smoking road flare into the restaurant. Was the vandal a sign that the mole people, those who shunned life above ground in favor of the city's deepest subway passages, were back and seeking revenge on surface dwellers? This is not Futurama. Mole people are not coming to kill us. Jennifer Toth says rumors of people living underground started as early as the 1800s, when the city first started building the subway. And they've tried to close off all of the old abandoned subway tracks so like homeless people can't live down there. But plenty of them still do. Today, there's a thriving community of homeless people living underneath the city, but they're not mole people, they're just people. But it gets weirder. A common reason for delays during subway construction is when workers come across a colony of people living underground and refuse to move forward. Yeah, so it's just homeless people. They're not crazy mole people that like shun the sun. And that's it for creepy New York urban legends. Those were weird. I am never going to New York with alligators and super rats coming into my apartment. No. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Again, don't forget to subscribe, be part of the Socially Awkward family, and follow me on Instagram and check out channel memberships. Links are all down below. And give this video a like and a share. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you are spooked, and I will see you creepy people next time.